2021 Cadillac Escalade vs 2021 Lincoln Navigator, towering titans. It seems like everyone's doing a full-size luxury SUV these days, but for the last 2+ decades two marques have been doing them the best: Cadillac and Lincoln. Even when they found themselves on the back foot, the big, brawny Escalade and Navigator were always the vehicles they stayed on top of, despite formidable and at times superior foreign competition. But now they're back with a vengeance, and it's time to determine whether the 2021 Cadillac Escalade or the 2021 Lincoln Navigator is leading the charge. Although the Escalade has almost always overshadowed the Navigator, it was Lincoln that struck first this time around. The 2018 Navigator reset the bar for full-size luxury SUVs with its poise, performance, and interior that sent everyone else back to the drawing board. 3 years later, and with the benefit of being able to examine Lincoln's work in that time, Cadillac has finally answered with the best Escalade it's ever built. The rivalry's closer than it's ever been. A note before we get started: due to scheduling issues, the only new Escalade we were able to procure for this test was an extended wheelbase ESV model, which costs an additional $3,000. We'll take this into account when evaluating the pricing, cargo space, and handling of each vehicle, and when necessary we'll draw from our previous first test experience with the standard length 2021 Escalade for additional insight. Inside, new school vs. old school. More than anything, the interior defines a luxury vehicle. It's what you touch and spend most of your time looking at, and where you're coddled and entertained. Long a weak point for both, Cadillac and Lincoln have finally put in the time, effort, and money to give these full-size SUVs world-class interiors. They've just gone about it in very different ways. Lincoln looked to the past for inspiration, to its heyday in the 1950s and 60s, to classic American luxury and the days when mid-century modern was just modern. The Navigator's interior looks like nothing else on the market, elegantly intertwining modern convenience and technology with a mid-century aesthetic. Most importantly, it shares nearly nothing with its Ford Expedition sibling, and the bits that are shared have at least been dressed up. The Navigator's top-shelf black label interior is nothing short of a statement piece. Critically, Lincoln hasn't overlooked anything. Despite the dominance of the form, there's still plenty of function, with ample storage space for everything we bring with us these days. The Eames-looking front seats aren't just for looks, they adjust in every way imaginable so everyone can dial in their precise personal comfort. They also have massaging features. The second and third row seats fold flat but still offer more padding than the Escalades, with the same amount of space, it should be said. Refreshingly, Lincoln didn't skimp on rear seat luxury, either. The design, trim, and quality of materials extend all the way through to the third row. There are misses, though. Shortly after this test, Cadillac finally started offering Super Cruise for the Escalade. Lincoln's counterpart, Co-Pilot 360, simply isn't as advanced as Cadillac's driver assist tech. The Navigator's infotainment setup isn't a match for the Cadillac's and remains largely a reskin of Ford's system. The buttons and dials on the Navigator's dash don't have the same weight as those on the Escalade, not to mention the even more impressive weight of the European and Japanese competition. Disappointingly, we also heard a constant squeak coming from the center console lid while driving our test vehicle, something we haven't noticed in other Navigators. We were also let down by the slightly higher wind and road noise in the quiet luxury Lincoln. As much as Lincoln looked back, Cadillac looked forward. The Escalade leans into the future and does it with class-leading technology and world-class materials. Headlining is the aforementioned Super Cruise, Cadillac's certain highways-only hands-free driving aid that's nearly as good as Tesla's autopilot. The Escalade's massive, 38-inch combined infotainment screen and instrument cluster is a game-stopper, featuring touch screens on both sides of the gauges, the ability to put the map squarely in front of the driver, augmented reality enhanced navigation, night vision, and more. No one is loading up more cutting-edge tech into a luxury SUV than Cadillac. What's more, Cadillac is finally cocooning those features in a world-class interior. The quality of materials and workmanship of the 2021 Escalade is head and shoulders above anything Cadillac's done in decades. The design is forward-looking and the luxury touches extend beyond the first row, as they should.